Our jobs will be to make sure that the debt service
Right.
is in conjunction with that.
Okay, so that's ultimately what I was getting to. So the building aid ultimately covers the debt service through the lifespan amortization of the bond.
Correct. And it's a little backwards because the building aid actually drives the financing because building aid is paid over a term no matter what. So let's say you could pay for this project entirely in cash. The building aid is still going to come over 15 years. It does not change. So debt service and building aid are actually two separate things.
Interesting.
Our jobs are going to be to make sure that we marry the debt service figure to the building aid.
And I just want to point out the last column on this slide is what we call the local share. So that's what we are anticipating building aid is not covering.
Right.
That 2% that is above the 98% aid ratio.
Got
So
it.
what we're driving is minimizing that local share.
I have a quick question. For full or half aid in year one, I see it says full. I just don't understand if we're receiving the aid over 15 years, what the full refers to.
So full versus half is very dependent on when the plans are approved at the state level. So I mentioned you're not able to get building aid until 18 months after SED approval. So I'll just use the Nottingham High School as an example. May of 27, you get SED approval. 18 months later, you're eligible for building aid, which is November of 28-29 fiscal year. Let's say SED approval occurs July of 27. 18 months after July of 27 is February of 28. Now you're only eligible for half a year of February 29. Now you're only eligible for a half year of building aid in 28-29. So SED approval date will key whether you get a half or a full year. We're going to plan everything, which is the simplest way, assuming a full year of building aid to start. If, though, for example, something changes, approval dates change, anything shifts, nothing will be permanently financed yet. We can pivot our plan if we have to.
It's just that full versus half is just year one.
It's year one and year 16. If it's, yep,
The state snaps a line.
they do. June 30th.
December, you have to have it in and approved by December to get it full for next year. Otherwise, you can do it in June. So they snap the line. They're just trying to coincide that.
But they could have a holdup that we don't have control over that. They could have a holdup and then we have half a year.
Well, the thing is, we would know if there is a change, first half, first full, we will know that well in advance, and we'll be able to plan ahead. So I guess there's zero risk to the JSCB.
Thank you.
Okay, so on to slide 4. This is the projected phase 3 financing timeline. We go tranche A and B on this slide, and then C and D is on the following. For tranche A, the city issued bans already in January 25 to pay for planning costs. Those bans will be rolled in January with some potential additional new money. And as you can see, these bans will continue to be either rolled, paid down per state law, and or added new money until July 2028, when we will permanently finance all of the projects for tranche A. And then those, you'll see the due date on the right side coincides with that 15-year building aid reimbursement. So it'll start in 28, end in 43. I'm not going to go through the B, C, and D tranches, but it's the same idea. The bans will be issued throughout the planning and construction, and then once building aid flows, we'll go into bonds. So the last bond for tranche D, in theory, will be issued in July 2034, which is on slide 5. Slide 6 is just a graphical interpretation of tranche 3A. So this is showing the ban issuances over time. That blue bar where it says building aid received, that's where building aid starts to flow in fiscal 29. Then you see that July 28 phase 3 bond issuance. So we're not issuing bonds until that building aid is received. Previously, there was a period of time where we had to have capitalized interest, which means we're using bond funds to pay the interest on the bonds. That would have happened prior to the building aid flowing. So, and then this just gets into the mechanics of the actual bond deal, which is a state aid intercept, which allows us to get a certain bond rating. And then slide 7, this is a depiction of the school district's JSCB's existing local share, which is the debt service that they are responsible outside of the building aid reimbursement. So this blue line at the top is where we expected the local share to be when phase 1 started. So that was in '08. There have been different sort of assumptions along the way. We went up to 3% when inflation was higher. Now we're back to 2%. So as you can see, we're significantly lower than what was projected in phase 1. This chart includes outstanding local share, the local share added from all 3 tranches of phase 3, and then projected local share for phase 4, which in theory is going to be ending in 2042. So obviously a lot of assumptions made here, which are detailed at the bottom, which you can't really see. Sorry about that, but if anyone has any questions, let me know. But the idea here is that, you know, we're minimizing the cost to the school district and the JSCB. So on to slide 8, next steps. We're going to submit the comprehensive plan, which Turner has worked on, which includes the financial plan that we have put together. I expect, based on past experience, there'll be some back and forth with OSC, and then hopefully we'll get that approved. Ben and his team will prepare and plan for the January 26 ban, which will be rolling the 25 ban and then adding any additional new money that is needed for planning and purposes, construction purposes. And then the next bullet on this slide, I think, will hopefully be coming back to you guys. The phase 2 bonds are about to be callable, which essentially means we can refinance them at lower rates than they were originally issued. So there's 2018 A and B, which were, I think, phase 2, tranche 1A and 1B, if I remember correctly. So under current market conditions, we can call those bonds and refund them for savings. And that is pure debt service savings. It doesn't impact the building aid received. So we'll work with Ben and the school district and everyone to sort of get that going. That can be done as early as like end of January 26. So, anything to add?
No, should the refunding move forward, that is not incorporated on that local share chart that Stephanie went over. So if the refunding does happen and we receive savings, that actually kind of lowers that bar as well. So good news.
Any questions?
SIDA would be involved in the refinancing
Yes.
as well?
Yeah. So they'll be the issuer of the
Right.
refinancing and the new money bonds.
Got it. Thank you. Any other questions for Stephanie and Ben?
Just to clarify the flow of funds, building aid, because I think it's important to understand the building aid is, by the intercept, you mean it's captured and sent directly to the M&T trustee.
Yeah, that's it's a separate. It's technically all aid that is intercepted, not just
All
building
aid to the district.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
That's
Yeah.
important to understand. 'cause
Yes,
it's-
unrelated.
right.
It's 2 different aid figures, but unrelated in terms of what is actually paying the bonds versus what you're getting for the projects.
And that provides the bondholders with that extra guarantee, which
Correct.
helps.
So we
with
get
that
the one.
issuance.
All JSCB issues are rated 1 notch below the state because of that state intercept provision. So right now, AA2, AA, I believe. Thanks.
And we can choose SIDA to do the financing. We just have to show, is it the municipal bond bank that's still
Yes,
the
so
alternative that has to be?
in your original,
calculated.
original legislation, you had the choice between SIDA and the New York Municipal Bond Bank Agency, which is a subsidiary of Sunny Mae, which is a housing agency. And we just have to prove, both issuing through both will get the same result because you're both going to get the AA2 rating. So it really comes down to how much each agency is charging you to issue bonds through them. So SIDA, we compare SIDA and the MBBA, and SIDA is a cheaper option. So
As I recall, SIDA cuts their percent in half. I
Yeah.
think it's a 0.5%.
Right, correct. And they do not charge an annual fee, and MBBA does charge an annual fee.
Okay.
So,
Good. That works for
Good
us.
for us, we prefer the local option.
Agreed. Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you.
Very good, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, looks like we've got a few resolutions to consider, so Joe, I'll turn it back over to you.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We have Resolution Number 8, which is our monthly payment resolution.
All right, and that is $68,345.05 to all JSCB contractors, including the PM. So I'll entertain a motion.
There's, just to clarify, because it's kind of the first additional vendors. On the appendix, you'll see we have Bond, Shannick and King, and Plan and Print. Relatively small amounts, but as we go along, we'll add
Thank you.
vendors in that regard, so you can see who's being paid.
Great, okay. We have a motion? Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Next.
Yes, we have Resolution Number 9, which would approve the comprehensive plan that we've discussed, and which includes the financial component, and authorize its transmittal to New York State for approval.
Very good. We have a motion?
So moved.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. And last.
Yes, finally, we have Resolution Number 10, which would authorize the issuance of a JSCB request for proposals for architects and engineers for the various Phase 3 projects.
Great. Entertain a motion.
I'll second it again.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Any other business to come before the board?
I don't believe so, unless a board member has questions, concerns.
Pretty good? Good. All right. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.